Hey guys, welcome back to another review. Hope you guys have enjoyed the latest collab video that I put out. And we're now doing another review. I know you guys are probably wondering, am I going to do the Without Remorse review? I will definitely, hopefully, be checking it out tomorrow. I just been busy with a few things, but I had the chance today to watch Stowaway, the latest from Netflix, and starring Anna Kendrick and Toni Collette. And as the title suggests, it is about a stowaway aboard their ship, their spaceship. Now, first things first, let me remind myself who the director's name is because I remember hearing about his previous work. Joe Pennon is the director. If that name sounds familiar to any of you, he also did the film Arctic, starring Mads Mikkelsen, which I have yet to see, but just visually the thing looked stunning, and I'm really interested to see that film whenever I get the chance to. So this is my introduction to Joe Penna, but yeah, Stowaway, I didn't know a lot about it. I just saw the trailer and I thought it looked visually interesting. And now that I have seen it, I have my thoughts here. Let me pull them up right now. Oh, here we go. So for the first thing I will say right off the bat about Stowaway, the thing that really jumped at me the most about Stowaway is that I think that the atmosphere of it is the best thing about it. There is a great atmosphere laid out for Stowaway that feels calm, tender, and yet has this ubering sense of suspense that is just lingering in the background, and I really, really like that. I really like that balancing of such feelings, and I thought that was quite interesting in terms of just setting up as an atmosphere. Because they could have easily have gone for the cliche, thriller of just suspense, 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 calm, 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 suspense, suspense, calm, calm, calm. They could have just easily have gone for something like that, but they actually went for something rather, like I said, tender, which I really liked. Another thing, visually, as I said with Arctic, this film is quite visually nice. There are some very good shots in the film. I also have to speak speaking about technical efforts, technical wise in general with the camera work. I thought the camera work was really good. There's a long shot in the film that I thought was very well handled, and I just think that the placement of the camera was just great. I loved how everything looked in the frame, and all that was, I thought, handled very, very well. I also thought the performances were solid. I thought the performers all around did good work. I will say that Anna Kendrick and what's his name? I gotta remember his name. Where's his name? Samar Anderson. I think that's how you say his name. At some points they hit their mark too high for me. They went a little over the top at some points for me. But for the most part, they were fairly grounded, and I really liked what they did. And just in general with the performance, Toni Collette and who was the other guy? Daniel Day Kim. That's what I forgot to mention. Sorry. I thought all four of them did a fairly good job with what they were doing, and in general, I think did solid work. And with all that, I was finding myself engaged. Then I started noticing the problem about, what was it? How long is the film? I believe it's like an hour and a half, or like 2 hours. How long is it? It's about roughly under 2 hours. So I would say about an hour and a half in, I started to notice the problem about the film, which was that I was not feeling emotionally engaged. And that to me is a huge problem with this film because, as I just mentioned, there's so many really good elements about the film. The atmosphere is great, the visuals are great, technical wise it's great, the performances are solid. But the huge issue that the film bears is the emotional distance, because the whole time the film is trying to make you emotionally invested, but I just don't have that because the film's not giving me a chance to feel that way, even though it's setting itself up to be that way. And it's through that I'm feeling a lack of investment in the characters as well, and um, and with that, I also noticed that the pacing also became a big problem because I would say around those last 30 minutes, I thought the film began to linger for me because of that emotional distance. I thought that in my head that, man, if I was more invested in these characters, I feel like these last 30 minutes would feel a lot more justified. But it's not. It just feels like it's lingering on a little bit for me. And um, admittedly, the story did not go the way I thought it would go. It went at us because of that pace. It was able to flesh itself out in certain respects that I think worked, but unfortunately, that emotional distance kind of killed a lot of a lot of the stuff that was surrounding it, and it just became, I won't say boring, but it just became hollow for me towards the end, and I was feeling a huge distance from just a lot of the climax that they were setting up. So to put it short, atmospherically, visually, technically, and through solid work from the performers, I think Stowaway does gain the momentum it needs to serve as an engaging and somewhat investing context, which unfortunately suffers mostly from emotional distance and through that a lack of empathy, investment of characters, and pacing issues. But for what it is trying to do, I personally believe that it succeeds in certain areas, but the main area of which it needed to hit and the main area of which it's wanting to hit, unfortunately doesn't stick the landing. But the highs that it does hold will absolutely keep you entertained and interested. And for that, I do recommend Stowaway because there is a lot of good things about Stowaway. It's just that I wish that the main thing that it wanted to get right, I wish the main thing that they wanted to get right with Stowaway did get right, but unfortunately, it just didn't.